What if I told you the scariest thing ain't pain, loss, or chaos? The scariest thing is nothing, because nothing will have you questioning everything. They said do nothing and everything will work out. So I did nothing. Now I'm broke, confused, and emotionally invested in a plant that won't grow. Nothing is a horrible situation. Be right back. Nothing is a horrible situation. Welcome to the Unorganized Chaos Network. I'm the evangelist of entertainment. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and turning on that notification button. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. Nothing is a horrible situation. I am not made for nothingness. I was born with purpose, power, and promise. Even when I feel stuck, still, or silent, I am still becoming. I will not settle in stagnation. I rise, I move, I create. Nothing is not my destination. It is the beginning of my transformation. You know, God created something out of nothing. Let's go to the Bibles, if you will. Turn with me to Genesis 1 and 2, where you will find these words. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Before there was something, there was nothing. Formless, empty, dark. And even in that horrible situation, God moved. Because even when it looks like nothing, something holy is stirring. Have y'all read the book The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin? In the book, Baldwin writes, nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. That nothingness, that feeling of being stuck, unseen, unheard, is the very soul Baldwin tills to birth truth, identity, and liberation. He shows us that when the world gives nothing, you build something with your voice. Another thing that came to my mind was Castaway with Tom Hanks. Castaway, after being stranded on an uninhabited island, the main character's name was Chuck Nolan. He faces the unbearable weight of nothing. No people, no purpose, no hope, no noise, just a slow suffocation of silence. At one point he says, I had power over nothing. I had power over nothing. And that's when this feeling came over me like a warm blanket. I knew somehow that I had to stay alive. That was from Chuck Nolan from Castaway. That moment hits hard because the real horror wasn't the crash. It was the nothingness that came after the crash. And y'all know I like Lauryn Hill. She's one of my favorite music artists. And I like D'Angelo. Nothing Even Matters, from my favorite album by her is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Nothing Even Matters. The vibe is smooth, but the message is so deep. Now the skies could fall, not even if my boss should call. The world, it seems so very small, cause nothing even matters at all. It's beautiful until it's not, because when nothing starts to matter, that's when the spiral begins. That's when purpose fades. That's when silence screams. That was my phone. The very thing that made the love sound infinite can make the heartbreak feel eternal. Nothing is a horrible situation. So let's try our best to stay away from horrible situations. But let me tell you something real quick. Nothing is not peaceful. Nothing is not zen. Nothing is not that bubble bath with the candles and India are replaying in the background. Nothing is rude. Nothing shows up late, uninvited, and empty-handed, then sits on your couch, eat your snacks, and says, "So, what we not doing today?" Let's get real. Nothing is a horrible situation. It's when you got dreams but no direction, desire but no discipline, a vision board but it's gathering dust like it's allergic to action. I have a vision board. I've had this vision board for over 20 years. Nothing is the gym membership you bought in January and forgot about by February. It's that text you were supposed to send last week. That book you started writing 5 years ago. That job you were gonna quit after the holidays. And here come the holidays again. Let's call it what it is. Nothing is not neutral. It ain't just chilling. It's creeping. It's convincing. It's contagious. It's how you wake up one day wondering, how did I end up in the same place I said I was leaving last year? But let me flip this mic for a second, because I know somebody out there right now is in that space. A space between what you prayed for and what hasn't shown up yet. That uncomfortable waiting room called the in-between, where the doors don't open, the phones don't ring, and even God seems to be on silent mode. You know, you feel stuck, still, suffocating in silence. But I want to be the one to tell you, that's not laziness. That's not failure. That's not the end. It's just nothing. And nothing is where God starts everything. Remember in the Bible we went to, let's go way back to it, Genesis 1 and 2. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters. Translation, there was nothing at all. There was nothing. It was just God. Nothing. But guess what? Even in the dark, even in the void, even when it was a whole lot of nothing going on, the Spirit was still moving. Love, let me say that again for the folks in the back. Even when you feel like nothing is happening, the Spirit is still moving. There is no beginning and there is no ending to the Spirit. So don't confuse nothing with the end. Sometimes God clears the canvas before the masterpiece. Sometimes God clears the canvas before the masterpiece. And guess who is the masterpiece? We are the masterpiece. We are the piece of the master. Sometimes the silence is where the song gets tuned. Sometimes nothing is the tunnel, not the tune. But let's keep it funky. There's two kinds of nothing. The nothing you walk through and the nothing you choose. Yeah. Sometimes we choose nothing. Sometimes we choose nothing, not because we're weak, but because we're wounded. Not because we're lazy, but because we're tired. Not because we lack talent, but because we lack trust. And that's okay. It's okay. A lot of us have been there. I've been there. But here's the thing, you can visit nothing, but don't you dare unpack your bags. It's just a visit. Don't you dare decorate your despair. Don't you dare let maybe later become your home address. Get rid of the maybe later. If you're waiting on a sign, this is it. If you're stuck in stillness, take one step and commit. If your someday has turned into never, reclaim your dream right now, not later, because nothing is a horrible situation. It looks innocent. A lot of us look innocent, but it steals motivation. It whispers, maybe you're not good enough. It smiles while snatching your inspiration. But guess what? You ain't gonna stay there. You can speak, you can rise, you can build, you can move. You can start with just one sentence, one step, one truth. So say this with me right now, wherever you are. I am not nothing. I am becoming. I am not stuck. I am shifting. I am not waiting. I am working. I am not broken. I am birthing. Let the enemy know. Let your doubt know. Let that generational silence know. You were never created to sit and do nothing. You were designed to create something. And if today all you got is enough energy to say, not today, nothing, then love, that's your victory speech. Because doing something always scares nothing away. Doing something always scares nothing away. So let's go. Let's shake the dust off your voice. Let's give your vision CPR. Let's remind your calling that yes, you are still qualified. Now, your qualification is not based on your resume. You are qualified simply because you are a masterpiece. Because while nothing might be a horrible situation, you are not a horrible situation. You are a holy solution. Don't sit in silence. Rise from the nothing. If you've ever felt stuck, lost, or like life hit pause and forgot to press play, this message is for you. Watch, nothing is a horrible situation, and let it stir your spirit, shake your mindset, and spark your next move. Like, comment, and share with someone who needs to hear this truth today. Your breakthrough starts with one click. Don't let nothing win. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for turning on that notification bell. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you for subscribing. And please share this with 4 other people. You're more than likely to become like the 4 people you hang around the most. Thank you again for subscribing. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. All hearts and minds are clear. Go govern yourselves accordingly.